There it is. Recording in progress, it probably said. You may or may not be able to see me. I'm not sure, but that's okay. I'm not that important. So, before we get rolling here, let me open the evening in prayer, and then I'll get rolling. I'll go through kind of the presentation, and then open it up for questions and stuff like that. So, all right, here we go. Dear Lord, we come to you tonight. We gather here from kind of all over the place, and we're thankful for the opportunity. We're thankful that this technology allows us to do this, honestly, and it's pretty great. Lord, I pray for both the ending of this year ending well, and then I pray for entering next year and the excitement of that. Entering kind of our third and final year of middle school, and just the milestone that means. And as a father of a 20 and a 21-year-old, I do recognize that it goes fast. And so I recognize that these families are feeling that. So I just ask that you be with them in this journey, at this portion of their journey. Be with us tonight. Be with us for this presentation. We pray ahead for this trip. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay. All right. So just a bit of, let me give you a little bit of a history of our 8th grade trip, because I really think it's important, especially as it relates to some of the really amazing, cool, awesome changes that are occurring for this upcoming year. So for years and years and years and years, we took our 8th graders down to Rehoboth, New Mexico. Rehoboth has a school, Rehoboth Christian School. In fact, their high school band was just in our gym, probably just a few weeks ago, playing. So we have a wonderful relationship with them. It goes back forever and ever. And in fact, there's some Denver Christian alumni that actually teach there. And I have great friends there. The principal down there, the high school principal, is one of my great friends. So there's just our soccer team, our high school boys and girls soccer teams would go down there and run a free soccer camp for the students there. It's located in McKinley County. McKinley County is, if I'm not mistaken, it is the second or third poorest county in the nation. And my own children experienced that trip. They also went down there every year with the high school because they both played soccer. So unbelievable experience. Well, we had kind of run its course with Rehoboth. Nothing against them. It just, and then the pandemic hit and they sort of collided. Our groups had gotten too big for them to handle our volunteer, and it was a matter of finding enough work. And then again, COVID and all that. It just, we're like, let's think of something. We got to do something different. Well, Lance, I've known Lance for quite some time, and he had, prior to that, had taken over our 6th grade trips. And he actually does a couple of trips for our high school discovery week. So I'm like, Lance, talk to me about what we can do for our 8th grade. I need you to kind of think about that. And he said, I got the perfect trip. He goes, it's a trip I've done a million times. And it's phenomenal. It's a trip to the Black Hills. I said, oh, really cool. Let's talk about that. So we kind of talked about it, and it just sounded like the perfect replacement for our 8th grade trip. Shorter drive, which is nice, but there's a million reasons, and I'll kind of point those out as we walk through this slide deck. Well, the pandemic kind of made it so when we went to the Black Hills over these last couple of years, we were kind of on our own in a sense that we weren't really able to interact with other folks. And that was one of the richest parts of our Rehoboth trip, was we did spend quite a bit of time with the other 8th graders at Rehoboth, and they're similar in size. And so one of the fun things, we went bowling, right? And the groups were mixed. So you had some Rehoboth students, and they're 90+% Navajo. And so there was really a neat cultural exchange there. It was wonderful. Long story short, pandemic kind of made gathering with other folks not feasible. We feel like now, given the state of the pandemic, however you describe that, that now we've got an opportunity here. And so when I get through this slide presentation a couple of days in, I'm going to point out what's new this year, because we're able to interact. And Lance and he and I were at dinner last night talking about it. I'm so excited. Let me just point out the pictures that you see here. The far left is, those are current freshmen. All these pictures are current freshmen. So the far left is, it's at the camp where we stay. It's this huge lodge type thing. It's in this valley, stunningly beautiful. It's quiet. The second picture over from the left, where those girls are sitting on the bridge, there's a river that runs right through. It's kind of a creek / river. And again, just beautiful, really quaint. We do a lot of meditation opportunities there, prayer opportunities there. So that's amazing. The third picture, second picture from the right, is the dining hall. That's where we eat our meals. And then the far right is one of the projects that we did for Love Inc. Love, and then Inc. is INC, is in the name of Christ. We partner with that, or that's one of the organizations we serve with and for in the Black Hills in Rapid City. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that particular project that Paisley's working on there on the far right is outside their new headquarters. We helped paint this giant mural. So that was one of the stations. All right. So the focal point, here's the focal points for the trip. It's obviously service, sort of this redemptive compassion, kind of an empathetic approach. Cultural immersion with the Lakota. And that's something that's new for us this year. That's due to the state of the pandemic that's allowing us to do that. Obviously, some adventure, for example, a hike, then some team building and bonding, some relationship building. That's each evening. And then the experiential ed piece is kind of a conglomeration of all of that, in addition to some tourist spots. Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse. There's a cave we go to. So it's kind of a combo: service, educational, touristy, all that good stuff. Okay. So those are kind of the focal points of the trip. Just keep in mind that as I do go through this, you'll see, I'm going to move this out of the way. You'll see in this upper right-hand corner, you'll see this tentative, because we don't know about the weather. The weather last year in the fall was stunning. It was gorgeous. It was awesome, but it's tentative. You don't know what's going to happen. So you just kind of have to put that little caveat in there. So on day one, that Monday, students arrive pretty early, 6:30, and we depart right at 7:30 ish. And then you'll see there, we go through some Oregon Trail ruts. We kind of stop there. We get settled in at Storm Mountain Center. Storm Mountain Center is the name of the place where we stay. It's the lodging. It's where we eat. It's where we sleep. They have a game room there, so we'll spend some time there. And by game room, I mean like it's got a 4-square, which I know that many of our students will love because they do that a lot at recess. so you got Foursquare, and there's carpet ball, there's some foosball there. It's just fun, regular games, no technology, of course, of any time, of any kind. And then you'll see in the evenings, you've got that redemptive compassion training. So one of the things that we do is we build up to our service opportunities. And that's through this redemptive compassion piece. And then at 8 o'clock at night, we do this, the building connectivity is what we call it. So it's reflection, prayer, and team building. So we have very intentional groups. We make those groups. And that serves two main purposes, but there's other sort of tangentially related things as well. So the number one is, when we create this, there's a time of opportunity to connect. And we do have new 8th grade students to Denver Christian this fall. And so this is a beautiful opportunity for those students to get to know other Denver Christian students, whether you're returning or new students as well. So it's an awesome, and that's, you know, the trip is so early in the fall, right there in September, that boom, you're going to start making relationships right away, friendships right away. And so we make that a very, very, very intentional focus of this trip. So you can kind of read through this real quick. I'll highlight a couple of things. Excuse me. These are long days, not gonna lie. They're long days. They're intentionally made that way because the idea is to really maximize our time there. So there's not a lot of wasted time. You'll see my time stamps on the left side there. Just keep in mind, those are tentative, but they kind of give you an idea of the flow of the day. So one of the things is this Black Elk Peak. And one of my favorite parts of that particular hike is it's challenging enough to feel like you've accomplished something, but it's not just overwhelming. And so you kind of hike up, and the group kind of gets spread out. The chaperones are there. Teachers, by the way, a bunch of teachers go, and then Simply Venture staff. And you have these amazing shoulder to shoulder conversations. It's just wonderful, frankly. So I remember talking with a student on the way down. I mean, we must have spent a half an hour together, just talking and hiking and talking and hiking. And it was just a really neat experience. And you get to the top, this little Devil's Tower, you get to the top, and it looks like a castle, like a mini castle. And you can see forever. You can see forever up there. And it's just beautiful. And then we have a picnic, Sylvan Lake swim session, drive to the Wambliska Teen Center. Okay, let me pause here. The Wambliska Teen Center, this is new. So as I mentioned at the beginning, one of the beautiful parts of our trip to Rehoboth was interacting with the Navajo students that attended Rehoboth Christian School. That was always a hit. That was always, frankly, one of the most memorable portions of the trip. So these are Lakota. So this Wambliska Teen Center started out as just an idea. Let's just create a safe place for kids to hang out. And then over time, it just grew, and its reputation of just a wonderful place to be, just a place of calm and of peace and of warmth and of welcoming. And now it's kind of this big thing. And so we're going to spend some time there interacting with the Lakota. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. And then you'll see later on in the afternoon, there's that redemptive compassion piece, then the cultural immersion piece, again, with the Lakota language lessons, the games and the drumming and all that. And then we're going to have dinner with our Lakota friends there at the Wambliska Teen Center. You can see the official name down there at the 6:30 line. I cannot wait for that. Again, with my dad hat on, my kids, they still remember those interactions when they were hanging out with the other 8th graders. That was truly one of the highlights for many, if not all, the kids. And then again, there's that building connectivity within just our group. So that building connectivity is not with our friends at Wambliska, but just our groups. Okay, and that's going to be intentionally led by Lance. Okay. And then this next day is actually this is a really cool day. So day 3, Wednesday. So obviously breakfast, and no one's going to starve there. They feed us well. The Rushmore cave tour, that is so amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my highlights. It was really, really cool. And then we're going to head over to Love Inc. And we're going to only spend, in the past, we've spent the day at Love Inc. And we just found that given the number of our students, we just felt that a full day was too much. Like we were just kind of towards those last portions of the day. You're like, there's a lot of standing around and I don't know. So let's go there, hit it hard for like 3 hours, crush it, be amazing, serve, and then go. And so that's what we're going to do there. And then 4 o'clock, there's going to be service learning, and then the powwow. How amazing is that? Like a true legit, they invited us to this powwow, like a real Lakota powwow at the Wambliska Teen Center. And oh my goodness, I cannot wait for that experience. And then again, 2 nights in a row, dinner with our Lakota friends. So what a neat opportunity, right? You're going to meet them on day 2, going to hang out with them. Now you're going to go to one of their most treasured experiences, and that is the powwow. And then boom, dinner with our Lakota friends. I mean, talk about just back-to-back amazing days, getting to really know that culture and building some tremendous empathy, just and really understanding what it means to just really immerse ourselves for a couple of days in a different culture. And then of course, again, that building connectivity time with our groups. All right, so the next day, that Thursday, is the Redemptive Compassion training. Again, kind of the action piece. And then Mount Rushmore, really, really, really cool. Mount Rushmore will be neat. No matter how many times I've been there, it's still just one of the most spectacular things you've ever seen. And then Crazy Horse. So we're kind of teaming up or doubling up on our touristy stuff. Mount Rushmore, then heading right over to Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse, when you take the opportunity to walk that museum and read just even a portion of it, my goodness, is it incredible. And then again, that 8:30, that building connectivity, once again, you'll see that campfire there. Looking forward to that. So that's going to be just a really, really neat day. So those first couple, so day 2 and 3, pretty heavy service. I mean, those are going to be long, tiring days. And then this is a little bit more of a chill day, to be honest. It's a little more touristy, which tends, when I went there with the group, it tends to just be a little more relaxed. And so it's pretty good. And then that pizza party in the evening. Okay, so day 5 is heading home. So 7:30 breakfast, boom, 8:30 on the road. We'll stop in Lusk, Wyoming. It's this really nice park. We just hang out. It's nice. It's small, but lots of trees. Just sit under it and chill. And the really good food provided there. And then you'll notice 5 o'clock, we return to school. So around dinner time is when we get there. Just wanted to show this. This is their COVID relief measures. Just obviously being aware that it's still around. It's not completely vaporized, and so just being aware of that experience. Just just be aware of that. We got to be smart. We spend a lot of time together indoors, dorms, the bus, and all that stuff. So we just want to be smart with that. Black Hell's experience, the packing list, technology, absolutely none. And I mean none. Okay. Zero, nada, zilch, none. Don't do it. Oh, I want to be able to text my son every night, my daughter every night. Refrain from that. Don't do it. I want the students to fully immerse in this experience. I don't want them to, I don't want that. It gets in the way of relationship building. It gets in the way of just hanging out together. So absolutely not. Now, that bottom bullet point is fine, right? If you have a digital camera, it's not a smartphone or anything, it's just a digital camera, bring it. Some of our great pictures from these trips are from students who had their own sort of digital camera and took pictures and shared those with us. We're going to send regular updates. They have Wi-Fi. The cell coverage is terrible, but they do have Wi-Fi and a phone. I mean, it's a lodge. It's a multi-building, beautiful place. So they have all of that. But we'll send just small little updates on the day, each day. But just know that the idea is to walk away for 5 days. So let me give you what my dad had on. My kids went to Camp Idrahaji starting after first grade. They'd go spend a week up there. They were only 6, and them cutting away. My kids are really close in age, so they went up together and they were in the same group, and it was great. It was really healthy for that. It was healthy for me and my wife, and it was healthy for them to just be totally cut loose. And they're with adults that are responsible. So anyway, I really push that hard. Black Hills experience. Begin to own this trip. It's yours. So this is to the students. So basically, pray for the trip. Now is a good time to start praying for the trip. Praying for your classmates, praying for the new 8th graders. That's really important. This is a different experience for them than it is for the students that have been there. And that's kind of our empathy side. And so having that strong sense of empathy, thinking, man, what must it be like less than a month into school, and now I'm going to go spend 5 days with these folks? Well, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's a perfect way to get to know people. But it's awesome because of how cool our returning students are and how welcomed they make those new students in Denver Christian feel. That's why it's awesome. So pray about that. Think about that. Open your heart up to what God will have you experience through this. Each student is attempting to earn $500. So that's the cost of the trip. Students, go mow lawns, pick up poop in the backyard, do the dishes, babysit. That's how I made my kids pay for their own trip. My son did a lot of yard work, lawns and stuff. He also babysat a lot. My daughter did it solely through babysitting. And so there's lots of opportunities. Some of you might even have jobs. I don't know. And so that's an awesome opportunity as well. All right, so here's just kind of the details. Details and registration. You go right there, and need assistance or have any questions. So I'm gonna there's that email, go@simplyventure.net. I'm gonna send you a link, so don't worry about writing this down. I'm gonna send you the link to all of this. So that's the presentation. And so I'm going to take some questions, but before I do that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And let me just share a couple of things. One of the questions that I often get is, tell me about the lodging, right? What does the housing look like? The housing is, there's a couple of different buildings on site. One of them is this huge lodge. And it's got kind of this ground floor. We don't go into there much. That's kind of their supplies. Then there's the next level up, which is kind kind of the big open meeting area. That's where we do a lot of our reflection and devotion time. And then the dining areas where we eat. And then the next floor up, it looks like a college dorm. And the boys are up there. It literally is just, it's hallways, and it looks like a dorm. If you can picture what a college dormitory looks like, that's kind of what it looks like. And then the girls have, on the other side of camp, so a couple 100 feet away, where the female chaperones are going to be, it's similar to that. It's a little bit of a newer building, but it's the same idea. And then depending on the numbers, there's these smaller cabins that again house students. But again, it's all girls here, all boys here, and things like that. Lance is on site. He's got staff members. He's got employees that join us. One of the ones is Max. He's been on all of our trips. He's amazing. Wonderful guy. Totally gets what we're about. And so he's great. So that is one of the questions that I get. Another question that I often get is food allergies. What if my, gluten-free or something along those lines. So if that is the case, that's a perfect opportunity to email go@simplyventure.net. Email them, just let them know your child's name, known food allergies, and the dining hall will make a completely separate meal for those folks. They're really accommodating to that. So if they know it's coming, they will literally have whatever you need set off to the side. They're super accommodating to that, which is great. So anyway, that's kind of my opening spiel, and I will take questions if you have them. Go for it. Wow. If you have a question that maybe you don't want to ask in front of lots of people, you can email me and I'll just email you back the answer. If it's not a question you want to ask in front of the entire group, I'm totally cool with that. Either way.
Mr. Amadon.
Yep.
Since we're the newbies here, how is the chaperones? Is it all Denver Christian staff?
Yeah, so it's Denver. Yeah, the whole 8th grade team. And
Okay.
Yep, 8th grade team. Good question. The 8th grade team and Simply Venture staff. Those are the two chaperones. Those are the two groups of chaperones.
Okay.
Yep.
And then my second question,
yeah.
when does the money need to be turned in by?
In the next few months.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no hurry. No hurry at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You bet. Thanks for being here, Kim. Good to see you again. Any other questions?
Not a question, just want to make a comment.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Cool.
I know Kaylee's gonna love it. So
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. She's gonna love it. It's a great trip. It's a great trip. To that point, we many moons ago, when we would go to Rehoboth, we would this is just a quick side story. So we would go in the spring, and we kind of made it this culminating event. And so we would go kind of like that second, third week of April or so. And it was kind of that end of your event. Let's just kind of ramp up to it. But what I noticed was, man, when we came back from the trip, there was like different friend groups and new friend groups or stronger friend groups, right? And I said, wait a minute, how do we leverage that experience so that maybe instead of it sort of being kind of a capstone culminating event, how can we say, wait a minute, if that's the end result, maybe it would be best to launch into the year with this sort of renewed, these renewed friendship groups, new friendship groups, stronger friendship groups, whatever. And then the new students, then I thought, man, this could really help the new students. You know, you kind of immerse yourself for 5 days at Denver Christian, and then like, let's just like saturate it and go after it. And now you sort of launch into the year from that. And we've really seen that. So again, that's been a real side benefit to moving from the spring to the fall. Anything else? Well, okay. So here's what's going to happen. I had a Zoom last night with our 6th graders heading into Camp Adrahaji. Tomorrow night, I have a group of 5th graders that are going on our 6th grade trip. So Friday, I'm going to spend some time. This video is going to go out. Link to the slide deck is going to go out. Important links for registration, etc., are going to go out. So look for that Friday in your inbox. And then again, if you do have some questions that maybe are not, you didn't want to ask in front of a whole bunch of people, you can kind of fire those off anytime you want, and I'll answer them the best I can. So, all right. We good? Awesome. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. And I'll see you later. You'll get an email from me soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. You got it.